Live streaming is on. Hello, everybody. It seems we are connected. Let me get the
Yeah.
microphone because I have forgotten, and then you can hear me. Although I think many times it's better not hear me because my voice and the stupidity. Anyway, hello everybody. It's Friday today. I think Heather and Lisa will agree with me. It's Friday, just different time
It's
zones.
Friday. Thank
But
God.
first, let
I
me
guess.
introduce you guys. Thank you for being there, by the way, everybody, as usual. And with us is first Miss Lisa Hawkins. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me, David. It's lovely to see you again.
And hello, Heather Antos. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks, David. Thanks for having Lisa and I on. And Lisa, it's good to see you.
Always good to see you. I miss you.
How many days since or weeks since you last saw each other in person?
9 or
I guess
10
that
now.
in meetings and all
Yeah,
that,
it's been a
you
long
see each
time.
other all the
Beginning
time.
of March.
Yeah. No,
In
it's
person?
we share, like, our desks are in the same office. We share an office together, so we're used to, like, obviously spending a lot of time together and bouncing ideas off of each other. And yeah, it's been, I think, 9 or 10 weeks since we've been in the same room. So it's making collaboration a little bit more creative.
Well, yeah, and in a good way is that you miss each other more. So when you see each other in the end, it'll be better.
For sure.
That's
For
very
sure.
true.
It gotta be positive. Gotta be positive.
Yes.
So, question for each of you: what do you miss the most because of this crappy thing? What is the? Could it be going to the movies? Could it be hanging out like us Spaniards do? Being in a bar, in a terrace, having a drink, a gin tonic or whatever, a beer, just hanging out with friends, travels, food. What you miss the most?
I miss everything, but I
Okay,
think I
easy
really miss,
answer.
of course, everything. I miss going into the office. I miss what Heather said. I miss sitting next to her in the office, just chatting and you know playing with ideas and building a universe together. I feel like it's very hard to do separately and remotely, but we're doing the best we can. But I do
Yeah.
miss that. I miss going into the work.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's like the little, so I'm such an introvert that, like, adjusting to being at home by myself with my dog is like a dream come true. It's the best thing in the world for me. But much like Lisa, I miss like my colleagues. And we had David, Lisa, and I in our office. We had a daily office Jeopardy competition.
I miss that
It,
so much.
I know. I got a like a Jeopardy question every single day calendar. So every single day it's a new, category and a new question. And we had a really good competition going. And we're gonna have a lot of catch up to do once we're back in
Hmm.
office.
How
Indeed.
many times has David lost to you girls?
He does
Aside
his
of
he does his
all the
best.
time.
He
Aside of
does
all
his
the time.
Yes, no, he does his best. He does his best. But no, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Like, everyone says this, but Valiant truly has, like, the best team. We really are a family and we look out for each other. And so not being able to see everyone every single day and have our daily rituals of, every Tuesday, Greg Katzman, our marketing manager, and we catch up on The Bachelor because we're both, we both watch The Bachelor, and that's what we do every Tuesday. And so it's the little things, the little daily rituals like that we all take for granted. Every Wednesday going to a comic shop, these
Hmm.
these things that um you thought would always be there are suddenly not. And it's been a giant shift in everyone's life.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm really finding I'm missing going to conventions because I don't know when I'm going to see some of my favorite freelancers, my friends.
Mhm.
I'm so used to seeing them throughout the year, and this year I don't know whether I want to see them at all.
Yeah.
Do you think be completely honest here. Do you think New York Comic Con is gonna happen?
Hmm.
I
I'd like to
don't
think so.
I don't think so.
I
Like,
don't either. I
I
think I'm sorry, Heather. I think Baltimore may be the first one, possibly, but that really depends.
Yeah, I think if, and this is a huge, huge, huge if New York Comic Con was to happen, like, the capacity is going to be probably halved, if not quartered. Um, just, they can't have 100,000 people at that show. It's impossible. They can't do that in this climate. If they were to do it, it's going to be, ticketed entries and super, super limited capacities, that I just don't understand how they would be able to maintain.
I don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
I was talking to Bill, Sienkiewicz the other day about this, and I was like, look, Cuomo 2 weeks ago, sent a letter to Trump saying he wants to keep the temporary hospitals open until October. That's the Javits.
That's right.
Tell anybody, hey, you gotta go to the Javits. It's been a temporary hospital until October 1st.
Yeah.
Tell them to go there a week later. Would you go there? And second, he was telling me I couldn't put a single foot on the Artisale. That's a basement.
Yeah.
It's a basement in that building who's not exactly well ventilated either.
Yeah.
They're telling you to go to the Artisale after having it as a temporary hospital for what? 4 months?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's, I mean, anyone who has purchased tickets or pro passes or all that, they've been sending, I'm sure you've seen, David, they've been sending these surveys of like what digital content would people be interested in. So it really seems to me like they're trying to prep and plan for some sort of virtual convention.
Oh yeah, I know, Lance, and I know he's going to try, like he did with C2E2 and the others. He's going to try until the last possible minute because that's what he is. But it makes perfect sense that after the experience they had exactly with C2E2, etc., they just decided my door is closed or my dog will be here too. So it makes sense that they are already preparing, for the possibility of the con not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they have to. They have to. It's unfortunate, and it's, as Lisa said, it's a huge part of our lives. Everyone in comics, from the publishers to the editors to the agents, the artists, the writers, like it's huge. It's a huge part of our profession, and to have this giant chunk from networking or sales or promotion taken, it's a shift. It's different, and like, quite frankly, like, I miss the camaraderie. Every single convention is a family reunion.
It's very true. I miss my friends. I just miss my friends.
That's exactly what the first two chats I had were CB and Howard Chaikin, and they both told me the same thing. What I miss is the camaraderie. That it's not exactly the con; it's to be with my friends, whatever it is, be it in New York, being in Europe, being in any place. Just get together, sit down for a meal, and talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, do you remember what's the last movie you saw in a theater before this happened?
I do.
You were prepared.
Yes, because it was like the week before everything was shut down out here. My boyfriend and I, we went and saw The Invisible Man, the Universal film, and it was really good. And no one was in the theater, and it was great because it was just
that makes it even better.
So
weekend.
Yeah, because it was one of those where it was, I think we went and saw it like the middle of an afternoon on a Sunday, so no one's in the theaters anyway. And then beyond that, like, things are kind of like spooky. Are things going to shut down? What's going to happen? So no one was going, but I was dead set on seeing this film. I really, really wanted to see it. And I'm really glad.
Same with me. Yeah. Same with me, Heather. The last weekend before they shut everything down was my weekend at Alamo. So Saturday I saw The Invisible Man, and Sunday I saw Emma. And that was the last film I saw in the movie theater.
Nice.
That's a good weekend plan.
It was great.
What about you? What was the last one you saw?
Jesus Christ, I don't even remember.
If you're asking the questions, you have to have an answer, David.
Oh, no, I have an answer. The answer is I don't remember. No. It's been with a 6-year-old, it's very difficult to go to the movies, as you can imagine. So we try to go even separate. Some movies Paloma goes on her own, and I go on my own. So so one stays with the kid at all times. So I don't even remember. It was one of the the Oscar winners, whatever it was. One of those. Maybe 1917. Yeah, maybe
That's
that
a
one.
good one. That's a good one to see in theaters.
Because I was gonna say it was Endgame, but no, that's not true. There was something else later. But no, what I keep remembering is that right before it happened, for whatever reason, I started watching classic movies.
Okay.
And then I kept going because people ask me, what TV shows are you watching? And I'm like, I am saturated with Netflix. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
There's just too much shit to pick from. And they put like 50 more things every day that you're like, fuck it. Throw it. So I prefer to go with, Apple TV Plus or HBO or even Amazon Prime, because you can spend your time picking
Mm-hmm.
and not go crazy. But I was so saturated with that even before that I started going back to my big library of movies, which I had like 300 or something like at home, and just going to the classics.
Yeah.
And I continued going that way. So I could tell you any of the classics I've watched in the last 15 days. But movies in theaters, it seems too long. It seems so long.
I
I've watched so
know.
many movies at home
Yeah.
on this time that I have a difficult time remembering it.
Have you watched any of the like direct to digital releases at all that have
No.
come out? No.
No.
None?
No.
Not even Bloodshot?
No.
Aw,
Aw.
David, you gotta get on that.
My heart.
I'll send you a link. You gotta get on that.
I am an honest person, as you know. I don't know how to lie. I could be saying, yeah, of course I watch it, and Bob Vin Diesel was, oh my god, that guy can act. No, he can't. And anyway, aside of that, he's good at saying I am Groot.
He's very good, very dedicated, very dedicated.
Aside of that, yeah, that's his acting. But anyway, no, I'm not gonna lie. None of the digital ones. Not a single new movie. I think I haven't watched a new movie in digital since this started.
Oh wow.
Maybe some TV shows, but of the new TV shows, finished the season of the Expanse.
Mhm.
The Mandalorian, I watched it because Disney Plus didn't open here, didn't start until I would say 20 days ago.
Okay.
They decided to delay it in the rest of the world to get the rights they lost back, and they didn't anyway. So I want to see the X-Men 90s cartoon, and they don't have it.
Oh, they don't?
No. So that.
Oh,
Probably the Mandalorian is the last new stuff I've watched.
Okay. Well, Disney Plus, I mean, I don't know if Spain has it. You'll have to check, but that's one of the digital releases I watched was the new Pixar film Onward, which is on Disney Plus.
That's one of the most annoying things they do, is that they don't do it like Apple or Prime, where when they release something it's all over the world. Disney Plus doesn't do that. We don't have Onward. We got Aladdin.
Okay.
Which is like, I am not
the Will Smith one, the new one.
It's like, am I interested in watching Aladdin? No. No, I'm sorry. Amy and Paloma watch it because the kid, had watched the animated one and wanted to see the other one, and see like, I'm glad she has my genes. See like the original one better.
Yeah.
Same with the Lion King. See like the original one better.
Well, they're better. They are better.
I have not been happy with any of the live actions. None of them.
Well, I love Jungle Book.
Oh yeah, that was lovely. I agree. Actually,
that's the only one I haven't seen.
Yeah, that one was good.
I can't wait for Mulan. Mulan looks so good.
Mulan, because in Mulan they're gonna do
the history
similar to what they did on Jungle Book, which is not going exactly. Jungle Book has a lot of things that are like in the animated, but has some deviations which are really good ideas. Jon Favreau knows what he's doing. But I don't understand why Jon Favreau in The Lion King went literally frame by frame.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
it's the same movie. There's nothing that has changed.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a great feat of where technology has gone, and that's about it.
I don't know why we need it.
Difference, I can tell you, for me, the difference between Jungle Book and the others is that Jungle Book has heart.
For sure.
No,
and the others don't. The others, you just see the amazing the amazing feats in technology, but 5 minutes later I'm done. I saw the technology. It's nice. It's beautiful. Where's the heart? Hello again. So and TV shows, what's your favorite from the last Okay, what's your favorite TV show ever? Let's just up the ante.
My favorite TV show ever is The Leftovers on HBO.
That's one of my top 5.
It's so good. But it's for anyone who's watched it, it's a hard watch. It's a heavy watch.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. It's not. If you expect, you don't know HBO. No,
Yeah.
it's not easy. It's not
No,
easy.
that's hands down. It's my favorite show. I do want to do a rewatch. But that's, as you know, it's one you have to be ready for. And I'm doing a rewatch. My boyfriend has never seen The Office before, so I've been showing him that.
Which one?
He's never seen either, but I'm showing him the American one because I think I can get him through that and then into the British one. But we'll see.
Okay.
He's very picky. But he said he swore he would never like it, and we're on season 8 now, so he's
There you have it. There you have it.
That happens. That happens until you get hooked. I gotta be honest. I don't like the American one that much. I don't say it's bad.
It's just not for you. Yeah.
No, it's the Office. The original. Maybe because I have watched the original one before.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
No, they're very different. They're both
Exactly.
good, but they're very different.
So I was expecting something more similar to the English one, and the kind of humor is absolutely different because you cannot do what Ricky Gervais does. Only Ricky Gervais can do it.
Oh,
So,
for sure.
And
it's very British humor versus American humor.
One is really dry and hardcore, and the other one
Yes.
is I won't say sanitized, but it's for a wider audience. Let's
It's
say that way.
goofier. Yeah, it's a lot goofier, I would say.
Yes. And you, Lisa, favorite show TV show ever?
I don't know if I can say of all time, but I'm really enjoying What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh,
That's just making me laugh, and I need to laugh right now.
are you watching the new episodes that
I am now. Yeah.
I haven't started them yet, but I keep getting the commercials, and
So much fun.
Yeah.
They're just so much fun.
Ugh.
If you could if you could pick right now, I want to write or direct a movie or a TV show, what could you do, Lisa?
Oh God. Well, if I could write or direct a movie.
Yeah. You pick a book, you pick a comic. Cannot be Valiant. That's too easy. Cannot be Marvel. Cannot be DC. That's too easy. So
Those are too easy.
imagine any book, any theater, any novel. And okay, I can let you Marvel, DC. Okay, we can do that. Or Valiant, but again, I insist that's the easy choices. So
Okay, this is a
you
comic
get the
book.
choice and you
or
say,
anything.
if I could do this now.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. Pressure.
Hey, you do double jeopardy, so this gotta be easy.
I don't know. What would I like to direct or write?
Doesn't matter if it's a remake. I will give you another easy one. If you do something that's already done, saying I could do that shit better.
Oh my goodness.
I'll just kill it.
Wow. I don't know. I would love to do a Batman animated.
Ooh,
Some sort of Batman animated. That would be my dream.
That would be fun.
okay. But could you do Batman animated? What style?
Oh, Bruce Timm.
But that's already been done.
But that's the best.
Okay.
You said remake.
yes. I said it. Shit.
You did.
Too late. I got caught by my own choices. And what could you do, Heather?
Oh goodness. This is tough. This is really tough, but just popped into my head. If I could do like a HBO series, like miniseries-esque, or for Velvet, Greg Rucka's Velvet, or no, it's Ed Brubaker's Velvet. Like I would do that. That would be probably
Interesting.
like kind of that like neo-noir femme fatale Bond-esque character. Which Lisa, as you know, is very much yours and my thing.
Yep.
But anything that gets in that like suspense action noir type vein.
Yeah, playing off of that, Heather, you made me think of something else I'd love to get my hands on.
Yeah.
Modesty Blaze. I'd love to do Modesty Blaze.
Ooh, cool.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, unexpected. I didn't expect that one. Good one. and then I'm soaked. It's water. It's hot, so it's good. And then you direct that movie. So if you could pick to direct though any of those, as we said, you said your reasons, Lisa, because you like noir, etc., etc. So it's I want Lisa, sorry, Heather, because you like noir, etc. But what's the reason you could want to do the Batman animated show?
Oh,
Or
me?
yeah,
Oh, just because I love it. I mean, you were saying what's my favorite show. If I really were to think about it, that's probably my favorite series of all time. So that was where it was in my head. But Modesty Blaze, now on that's what I would like to do.
Very cool.
And why?
Because she's always been one of my favorite characters. And she's sexy and she's strong. And there's a real market for it right now.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I can see her
absolutely.
painted by Sienkiewicz. You know?
Why not?
Yeah.
And then where we are in comics, distribution seems to be coming back. Things seem to be going back to normal, etc., etc. Where do you see us? I'm not talking about Valiant. I'm not going to ask about specifics. Don't worry about that. Where do you see us as an industry going forward?
I think as an industry going forward, if anything that the situation has shown us, if anything that the situation has shown multiple industries, not just comics, but
Yep.
you need to. This is going to sound textbook, but you need to diversify your process. You need to diversify, like for comics especially, we need to diversify our distribution.
Mhm.
You can't put all your eggs in one basket. And David, you and I, we've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be, I think, excited for in the digital landscape of things. And we've never really as an industry been forced to explore that landscape so much as we have now. And like anything, it is going to be scary at first. It is going to be different and hard and probably not successful right out the gate, but nothing is a sure thing. And in order for comics to succeed both in print and digitally and in whatever new 3D hologram form is going to come out in the next 20 years for comics, it needs to be nurtured.
Yeah.
And we need to give it time to be nurtured and find its audience and grow and truly give it support. And I think that's something that we as an industry really haven't done. Like a lot of the publishers, the successful digital comics are those that have been digital only platforms, really. I think the publishers, like a lot of times, they don't want to diversify, or more so they just don't know how. And so they're more reluctant to give something new support because they don't see it as a sure thing. And there's it's like your kid when they want to learn to skateboard. You're going to fall down a few times, you're going to get a few scrapes, but
Yeah.
you learn something every time you do it. And if you keep at it, like, you're going to learn to do a kickflip one day.
But in a way,
Yeah.
that's also true because you have to keep the machine cranking. I
Mhm.
mean, you have to have the books out every month. I've always seen things from every single side of this industry, I guess, because I've been in all of them. But one of them is when I get, okay, the publishers are not trying to do new things with digital, da 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 da, and then you have to go back and say, wait a minute. It's not that they don't want to. It's that many times the machine has to keep producing every single month.
Mhm.
That's why I'm asking about this specific moment. When is the time we all have to think and rethink? Is why are we still doing digital in a way that is just get a comic, whatever comic, open it, same comic, don't do anything to the format, just the guided view, which is honestly shit. Why don't we think the format as a scrolling thing? Why don't we change the format and adapt it? Why don't we think? The other day I was talking to Acuna and Cafu. Cafu's a huge lover of digital, and I was telling them, when I see a double spread on an iPad, I want to kill myself. Because you watch it vertical and you have to see it in two pieces, which kills it, or you have to see it really small, or you have to guide the guided view.
Yeah.
Why nobody has thought about something as simple as when you're going to draw the comic, the physical comic, you tell the artist, this is going to move bit by bit. This is going to open like a flower.
Well,
Why
that's,
don't we do that, opening it like a flower, so
there.
it processes and moves like every millisecond a bit, so you see the whole double spread is spreading.
Well,
That's the
that's when I was at Marvel, we played with that a little bit with the Infinite
Mhm.
Comics.
I
We did a
know.
lot of that, and I think it came down to Riley Brown, who truly kind of created the Infinite Comic storyboarding process. It's that weird mix between animation and thinking of about it's thinking about a moving still image, which is a juxtaposition of ideas,
Yeah.
right? And they were really, really cool. We did some really, really, really cool things, but they were so much work, with very little reward. And part of that is no one knew they existed, and it's I think a problem. It's a frustration that I've seen a lot over my time in the industry. Is I feel like sometimes um, things are created, and it's I created this thing, it's on the shelf, sell itself. I put it on the
Yeah.
internet, sell itself. Why is no one buying this? Why is no one reading it? And it's like not to like go super pluggy on Valiant right now, but like one of the things I love about Valiant is because we publish so few books. We're not publishing 80 issues a month. We're publishing, like 8.
Mhm.
We're able to give every single issue the support that it deserves.
Yes.
Like we can give a number 1 and a number 5 equal support with our retailers. And like that's how you gain momentum, and that's how you retain your audience, is reminding them that it's out there, or telling them that it's out there. Because if you're doing this big event and this is the only thing we're going to market, and we have these really cool digital things too, but like don't worry about that, like of course no one's going to read them
Hmm.
because they don't know
Exactly.
they're there.
Hmm.
Exactly. I
Lisa.
think with what's happening in the industry right now, if we can make lemonade out of these lemons, what it would be is we really do have an opportunity to explore new avenues, and to, as Heather was just saying, and David too, I think that we didn't want to change because we never needed to. For over 30 years now, comics has been exactly the same, doing, their production and their distribute was always the same. Now we know we have to change. We know we have to add some safety nets for ourselves.
Yeah.
And so I think that at the end of the day, it's going to be harder, but we're going to come out stronger as an industry. I think we're going to find new ways to sell the product, and new ways to protect ourselves if this were to happen again.
Yeah. You cannot protect yourself against a monopoly. If they
Yeah.
close the door, you have no chances. So it's always they gotta find. And I'm not talking only digital. I'm also talking about there's gotta be another print solutions. There's gotta be other
Yeah.
markets that are there. That
Absolutely.
when one of those markets closes, you gotta be able to get to the others.
No, for sure. For sure. You have to have, and there's a way, and it's, up to publishers and retailers to work together. Because I do understand retailers being afraid of the digital landscape and how that could
Yeah.
possibly steal, customers from them. I also think the digital customer and the print customer are two very different people.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
And that's why I keep insisting that I think it's a mistake to use the same format of a physical comic book
I agree.
for
Like
digital readers. It has to be completely different because they are different readers.
agree.
I agree. Like Webtoon, I've been reading a lot of Webtoon comics recently, and the Webtoon scrolling format is so cool. And like a lot of the artists really take advantage of that, and it's a lot of fun to see that implemented. And so I think it's up to publishers and retailers to work together to truly support each other in the print landscape. And like there could be as you said, David, like it can't just be the same content. It has to be different content, and they can support each other. This
Absolutely.
content,
And they
and they
should.
should, right?
They
They
should.
should.
That's why that's what Marcos Martin and the others do with Panel
Panel
Syndicate.
Syndicate, yeah,
Panel
no, for
Syndicate
sure.
is completely digital format, digitally thought, but then those books are readapted and reconstructed to become printed books.
Yep.
And they have the model that you pay as much as you want, like the Radiohead releases lately, etc., etc. So it's a completely different format, a completely different frame of mind, which is what I think is missing from big publishers in that sense. Okay, I know it's time, I know it's effort, but you need to have a separate space to create books for that audience that is there and that is huge. If the other day somebody, I think it was Libermejo, was telling me the problem with digital is that it reached a plateau and it's not growing. It's like, of course, because the readers who want to really read digital are used to read another way. They don't want to read panel. They want to read the digital way, and you are not giving it to them. So that's why it's not growing.
Right. Yeah, no, it's the right now, like a lot of the digital, at least for floppies, right? The our landscape. It's people who, I don't want to have 700 long boxes in my house. I can just have them on my Kindle.
Yeah.
And carry it around with me, and that's how I can read, or this is how I can find all these backup issues that I wasn't alive for, and I can just download them all in Comixology. And there's something to that. That's huge. Like that is one thing that I do love about digital, is the access it gives the modern audience to go back and read the classics.
Absolutely.
Because we can't find them, and a lot of them are in print, or if they are in print, they're in these ridiculously expensive omnibuses that are just impossible to display properly or put on your shelves because they're huge.
Yes.
And I just can't afford them. But like Comixology, I can read the first appearance of Batman. That's a thing I can just do. So that's super cool, and there is a place for that. But yes, like you said, especially in this landscape, we do need to be exploring this. We do need to be cultivating this, and we need to be experimenting.
Yeah, It's experimenting with the format. LYSA, I think, is experimenting with the format in physical. Because I think that depending only on monthly floppies is a huge mistake. It's got to be changing the formats. Maybe things that don't have to be monthly. Maybe monthly, but bigger sizes. Maybe mixing 22 pages with 30 pages. Going to digital, what we were saying. Trying to give the digital readers what they want and not what we are expecting. And as you said, Heather, of course I go on a plane for 9 hours to New York, and not. My iPad, I have 50, 100 comics to read.
Yeah.
This is what I had before. I had a big backpack with 3 books and 2 trade paperbacks that weighed a ton. So of course I'm going to pick, I'm going to pick the Comixology thing. But that's why I think there's a plateau. We end up, regular readers, us, from all-time readers, we end up only using the iPad for the life-saving moments.
Yeah.
As you said, the omnibus. Okay, it's easier to read it this way. It's cheaper, and it's it's not going to weigh more. My iPad is going to still be half a kilogram. So it's lifesavers for comic readers. That's what iPads and the others have become. This is what we want from digital comics as an industry. That those comics are only lifesavers for trips.
Yeah. No, it's a thing that's like it's just thinking about it and thinking about if we could do things if Marvel or DC or Valiant or Image or any of these like publishers like moved to like even just one comic and really explored the digital format in a way that isn't just a normal comic page, because that was the thing too, even with the Infinite comics that I worked on. At the end of the day, we still had to fit it on a comic page, and we still had to print it. So there were still so many restrictions because of that. And that was always a thing where like, that's future editorial's problem. Don't worry about that now. Like format it for the infinite format. But even that infinite format, it was still scrolling. It was still a rectangle, and it scrolled or up and down or however. And So you didn't, there still wasn't as much freedom as one would hope, because it still had to work with the Comixology platform. It still had to work with that page turn mentality. And so, yeah, like it's, we're still stuck in the box, I think.
That's what I was going to ask you, Lisa. Do you think that, of course, retailers now complain because of digital comics, if Marvel or DC publish digital comics before, which I'm sorry, they've lost the battle. That's one of the changes that's happened, is that Marvel and DC have finally decided they need to go with digital first, so to save the companies. But you think that if you give the retailers, you create digital comics that are their own thing, their own format, that they cannot be thought out as you, Heather, and I were saying, okay, it's going to be a completely different format. It's not going to be thought out at all as a thing that could be printed. Then we could rethink it. But originally, it's going to be thought out as something you cannot read on a floppy. It's going to be a completely different format. We are going to use the digital format to a whole benefit. Do you think the retail that? I think that could be a good thing, because then the retailers wouldn't feel threatened by those comics, because they're not going to have them anyway.
Yeah, I think that if I think the retailers would be gun shy about anything unknown at this point, but I think that it's important to look into these things and try these things out, because everything we do can help save our industry, you know, and we are going to be exploring these avenues eventually. Why not do it right now when we have the opportunity to do it?
Yeah, no, but
I think retailers probably wouldn't love the idea until they realized it wouldn't hurt their sales at the bottom.
That's what I was talking about. You know, it's, of course, if you tell a retailer, hey, we are going to Marvel, DC, Valiant, Dark Horse, whoever, we are going to start publishing before on digital, or we are going to get the price as where it should be, which is like $1 for the digital stuff, which is not because, so the retailers are not hurt. Okay, that's fine. I understand that. But then you go to a retailer, and that's is what I do. And I'm pretty sure you could do the same thing. You could go to a retailer and say, look, this is what we've created. This is completely digital format. Has nothing to do. This is not going to be on sale. This is not your competition. It's a completely different market. You explain it to them. What do you think they could do?
No.
Do you think they could go with it? They could feel threatened anyway? Because we cannot stop evolution for 24 years.
I think it's a thing where, like, so long as, at least for sure in the opening trials, right? In the opening trials, completely different format versus, the normal floppy. But then, it's a lot of people who read the digital comics tend to be younger. They tend to be the younger, more into like the YA range of things. So even that, like that book, you do a YA, Batman and Robin kind of like, an animated series-esque. I mean, that was still a little dark, but kind of in that vein, right? Like for your around 14 age, and then your Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo Batman comic, like that's a completely different audience.
Yes.
No one's going to be like, nah, I'm not going to read this Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, and I'm going to only read this digital. Like that's a completely, if anything, they'll read both, but the retailers still got their purchase. They still got what they had
from it. And going on what Heather just said, as she just pointed out, a lot of the webcomics are geared towards the younger audience.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to get them interested in the character and then transfer over to the floppy in the retail store. So 100%. I mean, that would be the way I would sell it.
100%.
Yeah, the highest growing percentage of readers here in Spain, it's kids.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's some publishers, including ECC, Norma, and others, they just decided to open their kids lines and say, let's go all with it. Like everywhere, malls.
Well, centers, that's how you get them.
And then suddenly they were like, oh, you know what? It's like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. So
Yeah.
if you give them the material, oh my God, they buy it. Oh my
Yeah.
God,
That's right.
the dads buy it.
Well,
It's like
well,
the Walmart thing.
that's
Everybody, Dan was always with the Walmart thing saying, everybody was angry with me. It was like, and then when they saw how much it sold, they were like, oh, how is this selling? And it
mhm.
was like, well, because we gave it to them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just as simple as you give them the product and they will buy it. The problem is many times it doesn't get to the people who wants it.
Well, or they're creating it for the audience they already have, which
There you
is
go. Absolutely.
what has been happening,
Yes.
and it's kind of like Lisa was saying, like you do this new format, you do it for the younger audience or the newer audience, as it were, not necessarily younger, and then then you could take that story and do like it's a standalone trade paperback or standalone graphic novel that not necessarily is a reprint, because that might not be possible, but it could be a brand new thing and sold in stores. And that's how you get that audience in stores. That's how you get them, because you like this story, you like these characters, you like these creators. Here you can get them in a physical thing that you can own, and that's how you get them in a store where there's everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say it this way: you don't stop selling. Do Android's dream of a electric ship because you do Blade Runner. You don't stop selling Solaris by Stanislav Lem because you do a couple adaptations. It's different audiences, different people, different venues.
For sure.
We are always
100%.
thinking about the same thing. We are going to lose audience. No, it's a different audience. We need to get a new audience, because the one we have, I'm sorry, you are 350,000 million people and you get happy because top one is 150,000.
Yeah.
That's nothing to be happy with.
No.
It's not.
Yeah.
So the audience is there. Jim Starlin did Star Returns, and they got it done for, it was like 35,000, and he got done with 75,000 in a day and $150,000 in 2 weeks. The new book by Jimmy and Dave Johnson, same thing. It was funded in a day. The new one by Matt Kint, Jeff Lemire, and David Rubin, it was funded in 2 hours. What does that tell you? That tells you that the readers are there.
Yeah.
This is not a problem of the readership. I'm always mad when they tell me, no, that's the readers we have. There's not more readers. Like, no, they're there. The problem is that they don't get what they want.
Yes. Well, they don't get what they want, or you're also not reaching them. That's the two-folded answer. Yeah.
You are not trying to get them, and you are not getting them the chance to grab the comic they want. And maybe if you keep saying, I am going to just give them, digital and Comixology and they'll be happy. No, most of that people doesn't want to read a book in digital.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They want you to get them the fucking physical thing, and you don't. So I know I'm just me ranting as usual, but I think it's got to be a threefolded way. Looking new audiences, looking for new formats, and the other day Lee told me an amazing phrase. Bermejo, like, many times we see the hill and we're afraid to jump.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, the hill looks really attractive to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, it's the risk versus reward type scenario, right? And so many people are just so afraid of risk that they don't even see reward. The reward is non-existent. It's all risk. And, it's nothing about art and doing art, which at the end of the day, that's what this is. Like, all art is risk, period. End of the day. It and it comes with the territory, and, and it's a business. And at the end of the day, it's our job as a business, as an industry, to grow and adapt. And, I hate to turn this into like kind of that like never ending, like, kind of boomer versus millennial or generation versus generation, but it's that, that's the publishers seem to be stuck, and a lot of the industry seems to be stuck in this traditional, well, this is how we always do things, and so it's always worked, and therefore why change? Everyone should change to us.
Lisa knows this phrase, and Lisa, I'm not going to name who told me this phrase, but Lisa will know who said it. Don't name the person. Literally, many years ago, and it's been repeated to me many, many times after that, is, we've always done things this way. We do things this way. We'll always do things this way.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's the mentality. Short term, Why change something that it
Yep.
works? Well,
Mhm.
because it doesn't.
Yeah.
The illusion of things working doesn't mean they're real.
Yeah.
And also, what
That's
you just
right.
said, this can be summarized in just one phrase, I think, Lisa, which is, if you don't gamble, you can't win.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Absolutely. And I feel like we're in a position right now where we should throw some, caution to the wind and just jump. We need to jump.
Well, and it's a thing too. Like, I think when these conversations are had and when they're brought up in the room, right? When these conversations are brought up in the room at the publishers or at the conventions or wherever, there are people who immediately grasp to the fear of all of a sudden we're going to change everything, and it's like, no, we're not saying you're taking your entire publishing line and whoops,
Exactly.
there
It
it
doesn't work.
goes. Like,
Of course.
that's not at all the discussion. It's like, try one or two. But those one or two that you're trying on, you have to give the support it deserves. You cannot
Yeah,
just,
exactly. That's the point. Yes.
yeah. You
Imagine
have
that
to give
Steve
it,
Jobs- imagine that Steve Jobs had said, "We cannot do the iPhone because we already have the iPod, so
Right.
we're going to kill the iPod because we already have music on the iPod if we do the iPhone." Imagine if he had said that instead of, "Wait, we can evolve.
right.
We can
Well,
have iPod and then go to the iPhone and have more things, and then we can have the iPad and do even more things."
well,
And
that's,
one doesn't
and
kill the other; they just evolves it.
well,
Exactly.
and when they did the iPod and when they did the iPhone and when they did the iPad, they didn't market it to the same person. Well, yes, they did market it to you liked this thing, so you'll probably also like this thing. But then they're like, who also is using this? Who is out there that we're not getting? Right? Like, that's what it was. Is, well, people. It was with iPod versus iPhone. It's,
Mhm.
well, people already have the iPods, but there are people that have phones that aren't using Apple products. So this is how this is
Yes,
how
it's
we're going to market
grabbing
to
the
those
audience
people.
that is there, but
Yeah.
that you don't have. Is that
Right. And
why is the iPad Pro so important? You know what? Because many people doesn't care about the iPhone. They don't want it. They have their Android. They're happy. But look, oh shit, that thing to draw as a
yep.
designer or as an artist. Oh my god, that's amazing. So
Mhm.
it's reaching for continually. That's why I put out always Apple as an example of they keep trying to reach for new different audiences. The guy who has a fucking AirPods or an Apple Watch, it's not the same. It's not the
Yeah.
same audience. You know,
Yep.
who's the biggest selling category in terms of age for the Apple Watch for the last 2 years? People from 55 to 75 years old, because it's a health thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So
No, it monitors. Yeah.
it's reaching for a different audience all the time. So that's why I keep repeating, that's where comics should look like. It should look at is, okay, I'm not saying follow Apple, Microsoft, or any others. Like, just look at how they have rebuilt themselves continuously. We have this audience. We cannot stop saying, oh, we have the iPhone. We don't need anything else.
Mhm.
We have to reach for the other people who's there, so they also buy our product.
No, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't
Yep.
agree more. And like everything, it's always an uphill battle to
Ah, yeah.
use, but the hill is there and we're marching on it.
Well,
Yeah.
change is always hard, and it's always
Yeah.
met with resistance. But at this point, we have no choice but to change.
Yes.
And
I
so,
think so.
since we are at this position, let's evolve.
I think so. I think we are not in a position where we can think, oh yeah, you know what? Let's go back to things as they were 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think we can. Maybe the numbers are going to be the same in 3 months, but it's not going to be the same. When are we going to
No.
get back to the with the stores being as normal? Where are we going to go back to conventions as they were? I'm sorry, but we are not going to be there until at least 18 months from now.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
there's not a vaccine.
Yeah.
Until we have a vaccine, life is changing. You cannot have the experience of having your 5-10 friends with you at the comic store.
Yeah.
You can't.
Well, and that's the thing is I think there's this, like Lisa said, like you said, like we're being forced to change whether we like it or not. And it's either we change or we disappear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think there's this false hope that things are going to go back exactly as they were before. And because it's comfortable, right? Like
It is.
it's comfortable and it's easier than facing the unknown. And so rather than looking at the unknown with hope and with opportunity, we look at it with fear, and so we cling to what we know, and what we know is comfortable, FOCs and IODs and New Comic Book Day and all of this stuff. And so we're going to cling to that because we know that works, and we're going to force it to work until it kills us.
But at the same time,
that's where we're at.
I think you two are in an amazing position, and Valiant is having you guys in charge in a big way, because you are from two completely different generations, two completely different backgrounds, two completely different points of view. Lisa, you've been in this industry like many years, Marvel, DC, a lot of experience, life experience. Heather, you come from another generation, you come from a different background. You have already had the experience of working with a big one with like Marvel, now more mature, with more knowledge, but you've also been out of them during that time, learning new things. So you have two completely different frame of minds and generations, which by the end of the day, when you get together and sit down, is always going to meld into something that, if it's only a unique point of view, like in most of the cases we have, as you all know, makes us stagnant and not willing to change.
Yeah.
So by the end of the day, I think you guys are in a really good positions to just say, you know what? Why not?
No,
my life motto, as you guys know, me, is always, because I cannot do anything but risk. I get bored if I don't. My question is always, why not?
Yeah. And mine's always carpe diem.
Okay.
No, for sure. Lisa and I and that's the thing that I love about, having Lisa as my cohort in this is, we do come from very different periods in the industry, but we do come with a swath of knowledge between us and different experiences, and we work very, very well together. And though we come from two different generations, we have the singular goal of, great comics and great Valiant Comics, and we're not afraid of change.
Yes, I know that.
We've been forced to adapt a lot in our lives. And so, adapting in comics is it's not scary. It's not scary to us. If anything, for me, and I don't want to put words in Lisa's mouth, but it's a challenge that I'm excited about and I embrace, and it's what gets me up in the morning, as easy as that is. But
nice.
It's
that was so nice. Let me my tears.
No, it's true. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure working with Heather. I couldn't ask for a better partner in crime. She's smart, and she's so knowledgeable, and you are so knowledgeable, Heather. And yes, it's a pleasure. It's absolute pleasure. And we complement each other so very well. If I don't know an artist, she knows the artist. If she doesn't, I do. We just, as you said, David, we come from different generations, so pretty much we know everybody.
Yeah.
No, but I wasn't saying it as anything but a compliment. It was an absolute compliment.
I know.
Oh no, for sure.
I think that's,
and I take that.
I think that's it's genius to have both of you with such a different frame of mind in many things. So life experiences, professional experiences. Again, as I said, as a melting point where you get, boom, this is your point, this is mine. We can get to the middle in a way that nobody can get in the industry. And I really honestly believe this is going to be amazing for Valiant. Anyway, let me say hello to the guys at the chat in YouTube, because I didn't say hello to anybody, and that's rude. I'm sorry, guys. Danny Ward, hello. Roberto Cruz, buenas tardes, hello. Roberto Cruz, hello. Blah 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 blah. Juan Fernandez, hello there. Roberto Cruz, hello again. Mike Jara, hello. Ivan, hola. Paula, hola. Somebody saying it's raining. Okay, it's raining. I don't care. Yes, it's raining here. Whatever. Ivan Coelho, hey, this is for you, Heather. Hello, Heather, says Ivan. Hi, Heather. Nice to see you here.
Hello.
And Felipe Gonzalez, nice to meet both of you. Daniel Maine, hello to Heather, Lisa, and David. Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
This Felipe Gonzalez Hernandez says, our group of friends wanted to go watch Bloodshot, but unfortunately coronavirus happened. Yeah,
well,
you can watch
available.
You can watch it on digital. Exactly.
Yep.
You can watch it on digital. Don't do like the asshole here. Just go and watch it digital. You have it on Apple TV. You have it on any other platforms. Just do it. I know your name. I know where you live. If you don't do it, I will tell Heather and I will tell Lisa to go and to go hunt you and kill you. Just so you know. Okay. Uh, okay, true. But see, she confirmed. Rafael Davila says, "Wow, I am going into the Valiant universe right now, starting to read it these days, I guess with the coronavirus, and I find this conversation with those two women in charge. I'm so happy."
Oh, thank
That's so
you.
sweet.
Felipe says, "The Office is awesome." Yes, Felipe, you have to say which office. No, that doesn't work. Danny Ward says it's really easy to see you girls are in charge for sure. Yes, they are. Felipe says Michael Scott is the best. Okay, Michael Scott is the best. The Valiant has
Michael Scott from The Office. We were talking about The Office.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
You agree or not?
He's not my favorite.
Guys, you're not getting in with the word with the good foot with Heather. She's gonna make you. No, seriously. Okay, Danny Ward. Valiant has a lot of powerful women behind the scenes. I know. Danny Ward says Lisa, Birds of Prey. From I know you from the time at DC. John Petrie said, "Oh, Modesty Blaze, Lisa, I have a first edition of the first book."
Ooh.
Aw, excellent. Thank you.
I believe the Batman animated series was perfection, an example of standalone stories. Danny Ward says, "Best show on TV ever. I got a tattoo of Batman from it." Okay, well, whatever you like. Felipe Brel, I like the dollar comic reprints. Going back to my early comic days, to collect them in like $4. He's British, £4 an issue now. I have to think twice. So I guess we're talking about the problem with how do we get our comics now?
Yeah.
Felipe asked one question. Finally, stop ranting, people. Seriously, how do you feel? How do you feel yourself? I'm sorry, bad English here. Okay, how do you see yourselves as professionals and editors before in other companies? How have you matured or changed now that you are working for Valiant Comics?
Oh man, that's a
That's
big
my
one.
that's my change of the translation because I honestly wasn't understanding the question. So I think that's where he wants to go.
Yeah, I'll take it, but I will do a preface of after this question. Lisa and I do have to go because we do. Yeah,
Yep.
It is still our work day, and
Yep.
we have
Yep.
a meeting to get to.
Yeah, that's why I was running to get to at least one question because I know you have to leave.
No, I know.
This is the question.
Yeah, no, for me, it's definitely. I'm very, very grateful for my time at Marvel, and so lucky to start my career there. I think the time between the two, I've gained a lot more confidence in myself and a lot more. I'm a lot more sure-footed. I think I'm not as afraid to speak my mind. I'm not as afraid to as everyone at Valiant knows, like put up a fight if it's something I believe in. Whether that's the best thing to do or not, that's who's to say. But I truly fight for what I believe in, and I put my foot down, and I will draw that line in the sand, and I won't budge. Because of that, we've got a lot of really exciting new projects that are different for Valiant, new genres, new creators, new characters that the company has never seen before, and we're really excited about and have a lot of belief in. And I'm very excited that things at Diamond are up and running again, and that we'll be able to get these books to you sooner. But yeah, I think that's the biggest difference for me is, just I gained a lot more confidence in myself as a creator, and I think that shows.
It does.
And well, thank you. But yeah, it's exciting to take what I've learned with my time at Marvel, working on the books that I have at Image, and bringing all of that to Valiant and helping Valiant grow.
Lisa?
Pretty much ditto what you just said. I mean, I feel like it was building blocks for me too. I loved my time at Marvel. It was wonderful. It was magical. Going to DC again, I learned I learned more. Marvel at that time wasn't so corporate. So going to DC, I learned how to be in a corporate environment. But being at Valiant, I got to take all of that, and teaching comics to kids too along the way. I got to take all of that and just really dig into being an editor again and loving it. And now I'm management as well. And everything that Heather said is about it. I feel like I'm continuing growing and learning and honing my craft and becoming a better editor.
Let me ask you one final quick question. What does a good Valiant comic? What makes a good Valiant comic for you? What do you think this is what makes a Valiant comic a good comic and a different comic to everybody else's?
So Valiant is all the Valiant philosophy and creative philosophy for me has always been about brotherhood. And that doesn't mean by blood, family's not by blood, but it's where you find your brotherhood. And it's all about truly the responsibility and not only responsibility of power, but the burden of power, the burden of, being Exo Man Award, of being Bloodshot and what comes with that. And not just I have to be a hero, but there's guilt and shame that come with that too.
Yeah, consequences.
For sure. And exploring that. And I think that's where, Valiant Comics really stand apart on the emotional frame of things. And it's a lot of fun to get to explore that in the modern landscape.
I like to think Valiant Comics make you think. I always say that a good comic book is like a good movie. If you're thinking about that book or that movie 24 hours later, you've won. You've got that reader. He's going to be back or she's going to be back a month from now to get that next book.
I cannot add anything to those answers. They are both amazing and on point. So, guys, I'm sorry you read this. That was Pedro de Mercader's question, by the way. I'm not forgetting to mention you. That wasn't my question. So, with that, they need to leave. I would love to stay and talk to her for like 3-4 more days. No, I mean hours. But they just can't. I hope they have fun. I hope they come back. And the next time, you can answer a lot of questions. I would probably have what I wanted to have, Heather. I wanted to have a milkshake here.
Aww. Next time.
Everything is closed, so I could just get my water. So
next time I'm in Spain, we'll get milkshakes.
Oh yes, milkshakes and churros at the same
yes,
time. Whatever.
That's lovely.
Let's not go crazy. Anyway, let's just wait 5 seconds after I cut this because I want to say proper goodbye. And to everybody, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Heather, for being here. That was lovely. Thank you so much. And thank you, Lisa, for being here. That was lovely to have you. And I hope you enjoyed it and you repeat sooner or later. Thank you both. And to everybody, goodbye. Have a good weekend. I know you're waiting for me to say who's going to be with us on Monday. I'm not going to tell you. Okay, I will tell you. On Monday, we're going to have with us Mr. Yannick Paquette. So,
very nice.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.